So this is Trinity-St. John's, and this is the first time we are actually making a Adinkra cloth. It comes on the heels, if you will, of a time in which we have done a lot of evaluation about who we are as a parish. We are a congregation that likes to look at truth. Much of the truth deniers about people of color in this country really exposed not only from the Floyd murder, but to even predating that. Black Lives Matter, all of these issues are present within this congregation in people's real lives. And so avoiding truth speaking about the issues and the cause of these issues is not something that we can avoid. We began confronting certain issues around our own religion, and so we went on a pilgrimage to Israel. This trip to Ghana was formed because of around these issues of the slave era legacy, of racism that persists within our own culture and persists in our own backyard. And it persists and continues in Far Rockaway and in the Diocese of Long Island, in 5 towns, in New York City, and throughout the country. And so it comes from wanting to go to the source of that, meaning going to where so many people of African ancestry, this is their heritage and where it began. And let's go there as seekers to discover something new, something that we can understand. And so we have coalesced around these symbols from Ghana, and we're making this cloth that will eventually become for us hangings for the church, for altar frontals and pulpit hangings, etc., to remind us of the values and virtues that these symbols represent.
I was talking to Father Chris about his trip to Africa, and he just was so enthusiastic about what he had learned about the Adinkra. And it was something I knew a little about because in my past life as a teacher, I had actually done a unit on the Asante people and on Adinkra and so on. So when he started sort of building this idea of doing church, some of the linen for the altar and so on, I thought, oh, this might be a nice project to do also for All Saints in Baldwin. And so I did take the introductory online course that he had. And so I'm actually here to watch as he creates the church, the linen for the altar and so on for his own church, and to see how we might do something similar at All Saints in Baldwin.
Ever since Father Chris came back from Ghana and he spoke about the Adinkra Project, I thought about what it meant to me as an individual and being an African American, and how he went back and took a lot of time to connect the history for us to be able to engage in this project. Father Chris came back and he taught us what each symbol meant. He'd held workshops for us to really feel rooted in what we're doing and feel a part of this project as a church family. So to me, being here is helping me to connect myself to my past, and being a Sokofa, to look back, pick it up, and bring it forward. This is something that I can share with my family, the significance and importance of our culture and our heritage. Even though some of our roots may not come from Ghana, but as a Black person, we are all rooted in that very fiber of the African continent.
What has been important is the talking about the history and the meaning of these stamps and how it has carried a people through hard times, and how it continues to be so relevant in the culture today. And the richness, I think, of interpretation in terms of what these stamps stand for, and how it might even be an inspiration or relate to us in our own present day time.
I love the symbols. I love the meanings of the symbols. They represent a lot of different things to a lot of people. You can actually make a sentence with using these symbols that can impact you more than just words. My favorite is actually the fern. I love that its background is more of went through a lot in your past, and now you're actually just rebuilding and you're moving on in your life, which I think is really representative of who I am.
I'm loving my symbols. Loving it.
So many people have wondered, including myself at times, what is it about Adinkra and these symbols and the cloth from Ghana and even Ghanaian culture itself? Why does it speak to me as a white gay man from Iowa? And as an Anglican priest as well. To me, to look through all the din, the crazy language, the not so great stuff of Ghanaian culture, whether it's misogyny or homophobia, and looking through that and finding that there is great value and wisdom that is underneath all of that. I think for people today, when we all subscribe, including myself, a bit to cancel culture of things we don't like, we like to get rid of and pretend maybe they don't exist. But when we do that, it fractures any type of possibility of relationship. And for me, I found some diamonds when I was in Ghana. I found wisdom and truth and peace and honor and beauty, and a place that I never would have thought I would have ever found these things. And for a Christian and as a priest, it's about relationships that we do all of this, our relationship with each other and our relationship with God. And if we throw things away, we don't really find the value that's still there. These symbols matter to me personally because they remind me of things that are important in my life, things being virtues and honor and love and trust and how we're supposed to treat each other. It reminds me of my own spirituality, of what Jesus teaches us to be. And beyond that, it's also about being human. I think these values that these symbols offer to each of us is a basic part of our humanity. I think when people look at their identity, they're looking at it for a couple of reasons. Wherever your identity is, where you need to find peace, where there is discord, where we find peace around issues by speaking truth, that I think is what the nature of this project is all about. For us as a parish, saying we are confronted with great tumult about race, and yet we stand with our identity, having claimed it, understanding it as a people, and finding serenity in the storm of hate. And that's a pretty great thing to be. That's the best thing that identity can give, and that's what we have sought, and I think for many of us have found.